Do it.
Joe Rod in the building. Joe, anytime I call, man, you answer. We've been at this for years, and what a time. Right now, the Cowboys are 5-3, midway point. Soon
Mhm.
to be 6-3 because they're playing a JV football team. No, we won't overlook the Giants. But before we get to any football talk, Joe, how are you doing? Check in. How you feel?
Feeling good, man. Feeling
Yeah.
good overall, and see how these Cowboys, how they look against a team that Shibo mopped them up this week. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Joe, is there any flashbacks of Arizona? I think the league now can all kind of see that Josh Dobbs is a solid player. He goes to Minnesota. He comes in on a whim. Shout out to everybody coming in the chat. Me and Joe just talking football on a Good Friday. Um,
Hmm.
Josh Dobbs goes to Arizona. Excuse me. He was in Arizona and he goes to Minnesota. So he was a good player. And I think Dallas kind of smelled the coffee. I kind of feel different about this Cowboys team. And I think now they understand what it means, even in a loss, to keep their head down and just keep working. But does this game scare you at all, Joe? And hello to
It,
everybody.
I think with the Cowboys, as a fan, you expect to blow these guys out, but you
Correct.
you can't be surprised anymore by these guys. I mean, it's been years, year after year of, oh crap, we choked one up. We fell in the trap game. We blew our feet our feet off. So I'm never 100% sure that we're gonna win a game. You know what I mean? But we should win this game. If we don't, stick a fork in us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. No. And the sad thing about it is these next two games, you kind of look at it. I mean, watching Bryce Young, somebody that me and you love, Joe, coming out. You watch him on that Panthers team yesterday. It was kind of hard to watch. Don't we have the Panthers after the Giants? Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, and then we have Washington for Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So I mean, and even Washington is good, but they're nowhere near an upper echelon team. So in theory, going into the Seattle game, the Cowboys should be 3-0. That would leave you at 7-3, 8-3. Excuse me. Uh, and that makes a lot of sense. Where Philly is going through a rough patch in their season, but I mean, Philly is bad secondary and all. They found a way to squeak out wins. I don't know how long they'll be able to keep that up. That was one of the
Yeah.
things that I was very adamant about, how you attack Philly. Dallas was able to do it. They weren't able to come up with the win, but I do have some good vibes about what the Cowboys are doing. If for a lot of people, this won't feel like a big game. For me, it's a huge game because I want to see you go out. I don't care, that people say, oh, they should win this game and the spread is 15 and all that. I want to see Dallas go out and take care of business early and get some guys, some young guys, some opportunities, and we'll talk about that, Joe. But Joe, I didn't get to get your thoughts on the Eagles game. So give me a quick recap, and I want to talk about a few players who, even though we lost, are trending up.
Yeah. My overall game, overall feeling was, it's just these guys can't close out the game when it's on the line. They failed to show up. Oh, it cancels all the positives. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we did this, we did that, but in crunch time, you're at the 6 yard line. A championship team, a playoff team, will punch that in. These guys couldn't do it. Mental breakdowns, penalties, stupid crap. You know, Terence Steele is garbage. He's a liability. At this point, if they're starting him in this next game, you know, it's not good. It's not good, man. Terrence Steele is in trouble, bro. And if you're going to use an asset to help him block, I mean, you're limiting your offense even more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's my overall feeling. They just can't close out the close games when it counts, bro.
Yeah. Steele's trajectory is kind of strange because we, remember covering him at the Senior Bowl and he was just awful. Looked a lot like how he looked in this game.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
he couldn't block Briley and I.
Yeah,
We've highlighted that multiple times if you've been with the Cowboys huddle, and then you come back and he came back and he played good football and he was a great run blocker. Joe, I think there is some of it has to do with the injury, and I don't know if he's fully healthy, Joe. I don't. And then one issue that I had is
hmm
now the Cowboys do this thing where they're trying to get a guy on the cheap. They don't really know how really good he is. He's played some good football, and then you sign him, and it's like, is he a great football player?
yeah.
And so it I definitely think, and drummer Cam. I mean, I don't think that Joe is saying that he's trash, but the problem is the data suggests that this year he's given up a lot of pressures, and it all came to a full steam ahead against the Eagles. Now, here's the deal, drummer Cam. You can leave a guy in there to chip, but that's playing into the Eagles defense. You got to be in full. Like, I will say this: people give Mike McCarthy a lot of hell. Mike McCarthy had a good game plan for attacking the Eagles now. 4 wide, 5 wide, isolate CD in the slot, isolate him versus their worst defenders, move him some on the edge, Joe, some inside. I think they did an outstanding job with that. If you're always keeping a running back in the chip, if you're always keeping a tight end in the chip, well, now that same tight end who was Jake Ferguson, who was killing the middle of the field, now he has to stay in and do what? He has to stand and block.
Yeah.
You can't attack the defense the same way. So it's a lot of give and take with that. Terence Steele was paid to be able to hold his own. He needs to be able to hold his own. He spoke about it. He said he needs to improve. But I'm like this, and this is my end all be all. I don't want to bench him yet. So I do disagree with Joe there. I don't want to bench him yet, but I will say this. You do need to have Chuma Adoga ready to play right tackle just in case, because you can't let him, if that was a playoff game, I would have liked to see him benched if that was a playoff game, because you're moving the ball, you're doing things at will. I would have liked to see Chuma, somebody in there who can make some things happen. All right, Joe, let's talk about some players who are trending up, some players who actually did play well. Joe, out of these 3 names, obviously CeeDee Lamb has cemented himself as a top 5 receiver in the league. The numbers show. We've been calling for CeeDee Lamb to be the ball needs to be pushed to him, and they did a great job with that, right? And so CeeDee, and this is what I argue with a lot of fans about. I think people love AJ Brown, and he's a great player, but I do believe that CeeDee Lamb's skill set is better than AJ Brown's. The difference is Philly will force AJ Brown the ball. Dallas will, let's get this player involved. Oh, let's get that player involved. But there should be a pecking order, Joe. You're starting to see that pecking order, and now you're forcing defenses to, what are you going to do? How are you going to take away 88? If you don't take away 88, the ball is going to 88. And I think that was the best way that they attacked Philly, and they showed that they could beat Philly. The Dallas Cowboys can beat Philly. This was not a lopsided matchup by any way. It was down the stretch. Really, Terence Steele kind of let you down. But Joe, obviously CeeDee Lamb, he was graded extremely high. But then Tyler Smith, Joe, for me, what are your thoughts on Tyler Smith, man? Because I mean, like, he's entering a world where it's like, we wanted him at tackle. He's looking like an all-pro guard, Joe.
Oh no, they're not gonna move him to tackle. These guys,
Anymore.
they're stubborn. He's gonna be the guard. He's the current guard. There's no plan to put him at tackle. He'll be the guard. Now what they got to do is figure out the tackle position, right? I could literally see these guys extending Tyron Smith, and it's gonna be more seriously. These guys are cheap as hell, dude. They're so cheap that they're gonna do that. We're gonna have to live through these headaches of him being out, vet days, left and right, rusty. Just, I mean, he had a really good game in
He had a
the
great
Philly
game.
game. Don't get me wrong, he looked badass in that game.
Yeah.
But he's become like the Cowboys. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Is he gonna dominate and beat the hell out of everybody, or is he gonna have one of those the 49er playoff games where a no name is whooping his ass. So, you know, I wish they would just figure that out, man. To be honest, but that's what we have for 2023. So that's what we're gonna have to roll with. You know what I mean?
No, I mean they've already come out and said that Tyler won't practice. I mean Tyron won't practice anymore, which is that was interesting. But I mean I don't know if I want to tell teams that this starting left tackle doesn't practice anymore. She's like I'm just like
Oh man, yeah,
that was I don't know. So I'm like, okay, cool. I think people on Twitter are like, yes, that's a smart thing to do. It's like, guys, you can't just I don't know, you can't just show up to a football game after not practicing. I mean, it just doesn't work like that.
yeah. No, it don't
So
work.
yeah. So anyway, guys, we just talking football on a Friday night. Everybody hit the like button. Please share this super chat. Then I'm gonna ask you guys to donate at the end. I'm going to Florida for nationals, trying to get a few players there. So any dollar helps. If you guys see me around the DMV, show me love. Joe, Jake Ferguson. Talked about CeeDee Lamb. Talked about Tyler Smith. Jake Ferguson, Joe, for you. How is he your 2-2 option now, Joe? Or is it still committee after everybody outside of CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, I mean, right now as it is, he's your number two. We wanted it to be Cooks, but the guy disappears left and right. He had one amazing game, and that was it. That's all we've heard from him. So it's Ferguson. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, maybe Pollard. I mean,
We
the,
gotta
the
talk about
the
it.
receiving game sucks. Now, I did like what I really liked what I saw from Tolbert in the fourth quarter.
Talk about that, Joe. Stay there. Stay
Yeah,
there.
so converted a key first down. He
Yeah.
got the ball in stride, and then obviously the touchdown. He was able to beat coverage and got the touchdown. So you saw a glimmer of hope there, and now
Trending
you
the right
now
way.
you now you have to hope that he full on takes Gallup's snaps.
Done.
Put Gallup on the back burner. He's your emergency wide receiver. He's
Done.
washed up, dude. He's totally washed up.
Can't separate. People are gonna call this nitpicking, and I understand, but I really believe had you had scored 7 going in, I mean Philly couldn't stop you. And this is why I tell people it's not a glimmer of hope. The facts are this. The Philadelphia Eagles can't win like big games with secondary play that bad. And the problem is Dallas secondary is still getting better to me. Like even with Bland getting beat, you just got to shake Devontae Smith's hand and say, "Good play."
Yeah,
He's right there, Joe. I love Deron Bland. I'll never turn on that guy. He comes to work. He doesn't do a lot of talking. He's not, he doesn't have his own podcast. He just plays football. Devontae Smith is a top 10, drafted top 10. He's a good effing receiver. He ran past him. He got him. Jalen threw a great ball. Outside of that, 51 yards for Devontae Smith? Something like 61 yards for A.J. Brown? Like, you live with that. And now, an unhealthy Goddard, like, Goddard's not going to be right, even when he comes back. You come back from a forearm, just don't trust it. And, I love the Eagles fans who are saying that was a dirty play. How's that dirty? I
hey
mean,
man.
Bell's playing football. What are we doing?
We're,
You trying to stiff
we're,
arm him?
no, I'll tell you what we're doing. We're watching 49ers film, bro. The
Yeah.
dirtiest team in the league. When they fall down, they're looking to hurt somebody. When
Mm-hmm.
they're getting blocked out, they're falling on somebody's ankle. They're doing. We've seen them. We learn from them, and I don't care. Hurt people, bro. Get them out of the game, whatever the hell, because you need all you can do, bro. I mean, it's true, man. I mean, it is what it is, bro. All the teams do it. All the teams do it.
No, I mean, and honestly, that's the arm bar.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody's freaking trying to stiff arm you, arm bar him. And he
Yeah.
broke his forearm. It's football. And you never want to see a player get hurt. Even when Jalen Tolbert got hurt. Jalen Hurts got hurt. You didn't want to see that. I mean, I tweeted that. You don't want this guy hurt. But, Dallas will beat Philly in Dallas. I'm very confident of that. You don't want to look too far ahead. The other player and the last player that I want to talk about is Mr. One Dak Prescott. Now, people have been critical, including myself, but these last three games, I think that he's found his stride. He's found his rhythm, Joe. And I do like what I'm seeing from four. He's running. His base looks good. The ball placement looks exceptional. People are going to nitpick the last drive. But the problem is this, Joe. Terence Steele gets beat so fast that, like, I mean, Dak had no pocket to step up into. You hit on Tolbert. I just want to say, for me, I love the way that Dak is playing football. And now I know people are calling for the run game. You just went through a bad patch of games where you just kind of like couldn't run the ball the way that you wanted to. I think that you'll see Dallas run the ball a lot more this game with both Dowdle and Tony Pollard kind of like get out the game. But I mean, even the Giants have like good players. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is still on that defense, so they might not let you run the ball. And then you go ahead and you press the passing game. And I love our weapons and I love our quarterback. But Joe, what are your thoughts on Dak Prescott?
He's having a good year, man.
Yeah.
The interceptions are gone.
Yep.
Um, but he's good when he's good, and when he's bad, he's bad.
Yeah.
And the losses, the Eagles won. I thought I didn't blame anything on him on that game. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, oh man, we lost to Dak. Let's get him the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Not in that one, bro. Like I thought he did a phenomenal job, like you said. Um, but it's the pieces around him that are
Yeah.
failing him. The offense. Cowboys screwed up the draft. They went heavy defense. Should have went offense. And you're seeing them kind of struggle here and there. Like moving the ball down the field. Their depth on the O line.
Yeah.
Uh, the O line coach, he's got to go after this year. I see a regression across the board,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, Biadish, he looks like his rookie year. He looks like crap, and I think that's part of the reason of Steele. I'm not blaming the injury on Steele. I think it's coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already been playing 8 games. You know what I mean? Like, and he played training camp, so he was ready to go. This is coaching for me, man. And they look too finesse. They're not mauling people. They're just out there. Oh, I'm not too fond of the technique. It's changed from the last two. I think even Philbin's technique
I
was
was about to
better.
say it's kind of funny. A lot of people didn't like Philbin, but he
I'd
was
say
disciplined,
Philbin knows
man.
Solari, man. So I don't think Solari's old message. He's from the Landry era, bro. Too old, man. I don't think
Mm,
that these young guys are buying into it.
yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. I've been saying it for a while. I'm gonna stick with it. This offensive line. Oh, now we got our starters and we still look like crap. Coaching, bro.
Yeah.
Coaching. You know what I mean? Like they've been out there together for what, like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks now. So you know,
Yeah. No. I think that's good. We got a super chat in here, Joe. Let me hit it real quick. I think he was kind of agreeing with you with the bargain basement shoppers, the Jones today. Jerry Jones used to take chances, but now Steve. And so I just want to say this, guys. There have been times where you took chances and then you ended up with a Roy Williams. You ended up with you ended up with a Greg Hardy. So you can't always, I'm not the biggest fan of just throwing money at every free agent. You're gonna sign your own. So that me personally, I'm not just the biggest fan of free agent. I think it's about getting the right guys. Um, I do agree with Joe's mindset of okay, you did go a little heavy defense in the draft, and then the Schoonmaker pick. I do like so. I'm not gonna be low hanging fruit guy. I like some of the stuff that Schoonmaker's done. I think the Hinder shot is out of this offense. I think they trust Schoonmaker. I
yeah.
think they like it. And thank you for the super chats, TC on drums. Everybody knows I'm a drummer myself. Thank you, TC. I think Henderson's out of this offense, guys. I think that even the catch on the goal line, first of all, he made the catch. I'm not mad at a rookie for he probably should have got a little bit more depth, but Ferguson will tell you he didn't do his job correctly right there, Joe. He didn't spring him open the right way. So, we'll see what happens, but I think that you're gonna need these guys to take valuable reps.
I
Him
think
Tober to get valuable reps.
I could
Um,
look it up.
so I saw a question in here that I wanted to get to because I see the chat talking. And Donnell says, and Donnell is one of my childhood friends. He says, and let's talk to drummer Cam, another drummer here. What's up, Cam? Drummer Cam says, do you think we'll see Martavis Bryant this season? Uh, you know, that could be a call that comes from Jerry. I think that could be a call where Jerry calls Mike in the office because I do think that we will see limited snaps from Michael Gallup, and nobody did that but Michael Gallup. He can't create separation. Uh, he can't run past anybody. You know, sneakily, Michael Gallup used to be a deep threat. Well, now he can't run past anybody.
Hmm.
Oh, they love your hat, Joe. So now Michael can't run past anybody, and now he's having drops. If you score, and listen, I love our kicker, best kicker in football, Joe. They hit on that. But guess what? If you score on that drive going into halftime, the game feels different, Joe. It does. But Gallup has the big drop, 17-14. Philly dominates the third quarter. You make a push in the fourth quarter, but it just doesn't end up being enough. Joe, do you think we'll see Martavis Bryant this year?
Yeah, I think we will. You know, and from what I've heard, he's about 3 weeks out. Or I mean, I think that's what the league requirement is. I don't think he can start right off the bat. He's got to get 3 weeks under his belt, and then they can fully activate him to starting lineup if they want. So I definitely think so, man. I think you'll see him. He'll give you that deep threat. I think him and Lamb, he can open it up, and it's better than what we have. They got to get better from Gallup, man. Gallup is hurting your team right now, man. You can't count on him. He's dropping passes, not getting open.
Joe,
Yeah,
let's talk about Brandon Cooks. I do like his. So he plays okay in the Chargers game, plays okay in the Rams game, and then he just disappears in Philly. And you didn't bring him in to disappear. You brought him in to make plays. Now, some of that could be, I tell people all the time, I think coverage is dictating that the ball isn't going to get Lamb. I mean, excuse me, um, Cooks. And coverage is first of all, there should be no coverage that dictates Lamb getting the ball. Lamb should get the football. Period. Right. But then, you know, when it comes to Cooks, I just think he's getting lost in the offense. Joe, do you have any hope for Cooks, or are you done?
I mean we're 8 games in. You know what I mean? He had one like he had one really good game, right?
Yeah.
The other ones, it's very few catches. I mean, the ball's not even coming his way that often.
Yeah.
You know, so there's something there, man. I don't know if maybe him and Dak aren't on the same page, or it's the play calls. And CeeDee Lamb spoke up. He's like, "Give me the damn ball right now." We saw him come out of here at the 191-yard game. So
200 yards, man.
I mean, you gotta feed 88, man. The 88's here. Dez, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they speak up for a reason, man. They're playmakers. You gotta get your ball to the playmakers. You
Yeah.
know, Cooks. I just don't think he's a good fit for the system, or they're not feeling like they're using him right. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I
Yeah.
had visions of a Cole Beasley playing in a slot, eating up that middle of the field. We're not
hmm
doing that.
Yeah. I thought
We're
that
not,
as well. You see him a lot more on the edge. And why? Because CD Lamb plays the slot. So they go big slot.
yeah.
I do like his energy though. I like what he's saying. You know, he said something to Clarence Hill yesterday, like, you won't trick me into uh speaking bad on Dak. And I think these two games I tweeted, I said I want to see Tolbert and Cooks get pressed the ball, and even Turpin. I think that Turpin has some juice. You know, Turpin caught a touchdown versus Philly. I think that Turpin has some juice, Joe, that we're not really talking about, and that's not being used. And that would require what? The one person who has to be subtracted is Michael Gallup. Unfortunately, you know, I think that he did come back and make a few plays, and that's all well and good. But the problem is, it just hasn't been enough for me. Joe, moving forward, what do you want to see for this team to get to? I think over the next stretch, we got to go 8-1. Tall task, but you don't want to go to Philly in the playoffs. You want Philly, you want San Fran, you want these teams coming to Dallas. What do we got to do, Joe? Like, what needs to change for you?
what needs to change is really the offense being consistent. You know what I mean? You can't be going backwards. The penalties, Dak getting sacked.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I mean, there's some plays where he maybe should have thrown the ball away, but there's some where the defender's already on him.
yeah,
There's no even a chance for him to throw it away. And if he did, you're getting grounding or something like that. So that's why I feel like you know maybe you give Steele another week here, and if
hmm
it's the same against a beat up Giants line, then I mean you gotta either give him help or you gotta make a change there, man. I know they extended him and paid him the money, but
And Chuma, the thing is, we're not just saying this because like, oh, just next man up. No, Chuma's put some good tape out there. Remember, Joe was
yeah,
like, I thought Chuma could possibly end up being cut. You go Austin Richards, Joe. Chuma looks like a good football player. Like it was
yeah,
times I'm like, man, keep him at left tackle.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I say too, man. I really don't mind him being out there because he's not a guy that's sticking out as somebody that's playing bad right now. If you think right off the bat who's playing bad on that line, most people are probably going to say Steele is the one that sticks out, and
Yeah,
then you probably got Biadasz as probably close up number two. So they and to me, like I said, I think it's Coach Solari is not getting it done there, man. I mean, the fall off from all of them is just if
yeah,
you. I mean, I'm not a big PFF guy, man, uh, but you look at those numbers and they have all regressed.
yeah,
So it's. But I want to see them, be more consistent, Foots, and I think this next 4 games, you know what I mean. I want to come out here 4-0 in these next 4 games because after that Seattle game, it's the gauntlet, man.
yeah,
Philly,
yeah.
Buffalo, Miami, Detroit.
Who? Let me just say this: there's nobody in the NFC to me is pulled away. Even Philly holds. I remember watching teams in the NFC. I remember Carolina went 15-1. Defense was outstanding. You could not stop Cam Newton. Um, years back, I mean, Philly got lucky with Brock Purdy breaking his arm in the first go round in the playoffs. They played Daniel Jones. So there's no team that's pulled away. Detroit's defense, I don't think that Detroit can truthfully guard Dallas for a full game. Now the front is nice. Jahmyr Gibbs is a nice player. Golf is good, but he can't play on the move. So you'll be in every one of those games. Miami does have the fastest receiving core, but they also have a Jalen Waddle who can't stay healthy, and Tyreek Hill, who, as good as he is, has had mental drops. I mean, he's had mental moments where he's not in the game. And then Tua in that old line isn't great. I mean, our buddy Connor Williams over there, he really isn't playing. I mean, he doesn't play every game. He's hurt a lot. And in the Bills, we've seen Josh Allen they really just let Josh Allen do whatever he wants to do. Now, the tough part about it is you got to go to
Yeah,
Buffalo. That's
yeah,
going to be the tough part, going
yeah.
to Buffalo. So that's a really good home advantage for them. All right, Joe Turpin, I got a super chat from One Hand Bandit. Thank you, One Handed Bandit. I did not know that Turpin had been hurt all game. I mean, all week. I've been really dissecting this Philly game all week and just dropping out nuggets. But hey, if Turpin doesn't play, I mean, I still want to see the ball look. I want to see Tolbert get his opportunities because, we're going to do a segment later in the show on a few draft picks, my foot's favorites, and I'm going to just explain what I like about a few. You guys know that I'm always in draft mode, and I've even jumped in draft mode even earlier. I'm going to do a segment on just a few players. So thank you for the super chat, One Handed Bandit. Let's get to another one, Joe. We are in win now mode. No time for sizing up. Well, rookie, we want next. Go get the stars now, but we missed the trade deadline. Well, TC, I mean, I'm with you, but this team is going to win through the draft. And I know right now, Mozzie hasn't given you – people don't think that he's giving them the returns, but it's going to pay off. I actually like some of the things that Mozzie Smith is doing, Joe. That's just me. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's just me. Joe, we have New York, Carolina, Washington, Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, the Dolphins, the Lions, and Washington. I do see us going 8-1 over that stretch. I think the loss will come to the Bills. Just that's a tough place to play. I don't think that Detroit can beat us, and I don't think that Washington at home can beat us. But it'll be interesting looking at seed and how it all plays out. Um, Joe, I think I want to end here. Grade this defense. Do you still look at this defense as elite? I mean, when when we knew and found out about you know Diggs going down, it's like damn, like what are we
Yeah,
gonna do? Then Bland comes in, he's been out of this world. But I just feel like you know Curse has taken a slight step back. It's not bad, but he has taken a slight step back. And then I also feel like Jordan Lewis. I'm just like I mean, there's times when he looks okay, and there's times when I'm just like I'm cool on Jordan Lewis. Joe, your thoughts on his defense?
yeah. No, I'm with you on Jordan Lewis, man. Jordan Lewis, his trajectory almost mirrors Orlando Scandrick. The scrappy player got his shot, got into the starting lineup. Injuries kind of took away some of the abilities. Same thing, man. So it's unfortunate. I think, yeah, he's not the same. He's not the same Jordan Lewis. So they're going after him. He's getting beat. But I'm with you. The defense, I think, calling it elite, I don't feel it's elite. I think they're pretty good. You know what I mean? I think against I hate to say it, but against the bad teams, they look very good.
Yeah,
But in these other teams, even with Philly, they gave up 28 points. We can't disregard that. 28 points is
they gave
you
up
know
28 points, Joe.
4 touchdowns. Not even field goals. So
Yeah,
it's we got to be
they,
careful.
they, they did they did get stopped. They did get stops in the fourth quarter. But I'm
Yeah,
with
they
you.
they got some critical stops, but overall, I think there's still a lot of work to do there, man. You need another edge rusher. Lawrence, he's a good run guy, but I think that pass rush is really left his game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no and so do you want to see more Sam Williams because he's actually shown that he can catch the edge a little bit more outside of just Micah.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see more Sam Williams. Just keep those bonehead penalties off the field, and you'll get more playing time. So if he does that, he could be that guy. But I wanted the Cowboys to be aggressive. Go get Daniil Hunter, a sack master. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Uh, Parsons, I think they're just relying way too much on him, man. He's carrying a big amount of weight on his shoulders, and he's taking that on, man. He's made plays, but it can't just be him. You know what I mean? The secondary, Gilmore, I think he's okay, but I think there's a reason why a lot of us fans are talking about let's go get Sertan. You
Hmm.
get Diggs back, then you got Sertan next year. I mean, that's pretty badass. Secondary, man. But I'm with you. I think Curse is you know, hasn't looked his best. You know what I mean? But linebacker,
But I will say this though,
Not to be Debbie Downers over here, because I will say that Model for Christ hit it. Mozzie, though he hasn't made a splash plays, the run defense has been really good. So I do want to just say that I think he's learning how to anchor well. The run defense has been good. Joe, Marquise Bell has been a real find.
he's been
To the
he's been really good. I like Marquise Bell a lot. I think he's found
Yes,
himself a permanent
permanent
starting
role,
job.
right?
Yeah, permanent role,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, and there will be talks about Leighton coming back, but I mean, I just don't know how you take that speed, Joe, off the field and Marquise Bell. Um, that's just me. I mean, I do believe that Bell really does run well, and he's playing to run well. Now there was one play he got out leveraged, actually on the play that he broke Goddard's arm. He kind of got out leveraged on that one, but I do think that is kind of going unknown. Well, Mark, could you imagine, Joe, if Overshawn and Marquise Bell are the pillars of your defense for a long time? Oh,
I mean that's a beautiful thing just in itself. You know what I mean?
Overshawn had. I mean, I'll be honest. I wanted Damone Clark off the field when I saw just how good and how fast uh, Overshawn played, Joe. I mean, listen, the guy can do it. And like, if this is what you got to get used to, and we'll talk about kind of what we need to draft here in a second. But you know what, Joe? I think I'm going to disagree with you. I think this defense is like really good, not elite, but I think it's really good. The numbers say so. Now they did give up the 4 touchdowns. That's true. And so, and Philly's tough, man, because you kind of can't make mistakes. I thought early on, I will say I didn't think that Dan heated up Hurts enough in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he kind of played coverage. There was one throw that Hurts made to Smith where we were sitting in zone, and Smith found that window, and we got dinged. So
yeah,
but I still like our defense moving forward. And the problem is this: teams aren't going to be able to block us, and we do have a really good back end. So it'll just be just gearing up for that Philly game. And I'm really interested to see, Joe. I want everybody to understand this part. I really want to see how Philly looks without Dallas Goedert, because now you just have 2 receivers, but that means that you could be defended differently. I think what made Dallas so tough to be defended last game was now Ferguson is chewing the middle of your field up.
Hey, dude, you know what made me laugh during the game, and let me know if you guys remember this shit. Our version of the tush push.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to see that again, bro.
I think they're gonna outlaw the play next year.
But the way we executed it, it looked like the Wish version, bro. I was like, I know I think we converted that, right? But it just looked crazy as hell. I was like, damn, dude, this shit.
You don't. The difference in our tush pushes theirs is they have Jason Kelsey and we have Tyler Biadasz. He's just too light. The guy.
I feel like teams are attacking it the wrong way. Instead of going head to head, go at an angle and push them this way.
Yeah.
Instead of going head to head, you're not going to win. I feel like if these guys go sideways and move them this way, you'll have a better chance. But right now, that damn play is unstoppable.
Yeah, it is, Joe. It is. And I think that I'll say this: you better be careful getting somebody hurt. That's all I'm gonna say. I tell them all the time. All right, Joe, we're gonna do a segment. Can everybody see my screen? There it is. Boom. We're gonna do a segment called Foot's Favorites. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. A lot of you guys know that me and Joe kind of made our hay in this YouTube world off of draft content. I didn't want to get you guys go too crazy, but I just wanted to give you guys a watch list of some positions that I think Dallas could possibly attack in the draft. I think that Dallas could go linebacker. I think Dallas could go tackle. I know that they could go tackle. I think they could go edge rusher. But most importantly, Joe, I think they could go running back and receiver. I think that as good as Tony Pollard is, I think that he's a change of pace too. And just a guy who, if you give carries to a bell cow, then I think that Pollard is a great come and knock you out after that. But I don't know if he can lead the game. And that's just me. So, Joe, I went Trevor Wallace, just one of my guys, linebacker at Kentucky. Really physical, can really run. Has an interception this year. Just a really, really good player. Edgerrin Cooper, another good linebacker at Texas A&M. I watched his whole game. He flies around last week. He was really, really good. Jack Nelson, left tackle, Wisconsin. And, when it comes to line play, Wisconsin, Big Ten lineman, if it's not Notre Dame, but you guys got some studs. Oh, it's important to remember, guys, these aren't the guys at the top of the first round because, we're not going to be in the Caleb sweepstakes, the Drake May sweepstakes, the Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes. We just won't be. Jordan Birch, edge rusher.
Penix.
Yeah, Penix. yeah, you're right, Joe. Penix is actually really good. How do you feel about Michael Penix?
If he's there, I'm taking him, bro.
Oh, he could play. And
if
he might
there,
be.
I'm taking him.
He might be hanging around too. You're right. Jordan Birch, yeah, because you got to think about the contract situation with Dak. Jordan Birch, Joe, he came on my radar really hard when he played against Colorado. Really good player. Obviously, Colorado's line sucks, but Marshawn Lloyd, a lot of people may not know his game. Plays at USC, just a really, really good player. Barrett Carter, another linebacker that can run. But these are the two, Joe, that I really want people to get familiar with. Now, I love Jalen Tolbert. I do. But, Joe, we need a true Robin on this offense. CeeDee Lamb is your one that's established. Let's get another guy in here, Joe, a big body guy who can run, because I think that's what Dak likes and that's what he needs. Joe, I know, both of these players, Joe, Brian Thomas Jr. and Rome Odunze, studs.
Yeah,
Studs. Now,
yeah,
Malik Neighbors is the headliner at LSU. But that Brian Robin, listen, Brian Thomas Jr. is coming on, Joe. So those are my guys. I just wanted to hit those, Joe. You got any draft guys you've been watching? Any?
I really love Roma Dunes from
Yeah,
Washington. I like him a lot as well. The LSU kid, they got a good offense, man.
they do.
They should be better than what they're at right now. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Brian Kelly. I don't know.
Brian Kelly effect, bro. He
Yeah,
kind of does that. We'll definitely be watching running backs. I haven't seen the SC running back that close,
yeah,
but I'm definitely gonna be watching him. Linebackers, I think you're right about those guys. I like Eichenberg from Ohio State. I think he's a
really
good
good
linebacker
player.
to look at.
Yeah,
Tackles, yeah, you can never go wrong with the Big Ten. Jack Nelson, man. Wisconsin, they're the conveyor belt
yeah,
for the NFL when it comes to O linemen. So, yeah, man, take a look at these guys. I like these guys that I like. Like I said, Eichenberg, he's one that I like for linebacker. I like I like a lot of quarterbacks in this class. I think it's very deep. I think if Dallas wants to get freaky, they can get one in the first 3 rounds. To pass that torch if you want to go that route. What I think we do need, obviously, puts is that running back, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what it feels like right now? It feels like this. You remember when DeMarco Murray left? Cowboys tried to sell us on what was it? Felix Jones
DeMarco,
stepping up. Remember
they
that?
try to
Remember that? Oh,
they try to sell us on Felix and Darren McFadden.
yeah, bro. And it was just like, man, I feel like that's where we're at right now. Just like, okay, stop playing. Get you a
Yeah,
bona fide number one.
jokes up.
Yeah, yeah. Jokes up, man. It's gonna be a fun draft, man. When draft season gets here, Senior Ball in January, it's really gonna get going, and yeah, that's our time of year, Foots. I love it.
Yeah, and I saw the comment. I wanted to talk to this. Hey Trey, what's up, Trey Fargo? Listen, there's never too early to talk draft. This is what me and Joe do. I'm always, I'm actually really trying to I'm actually close to getting, clearance to try to head down to the Senior Bowl. It never stops. I mean, this is a part of us bringing content for you all. So we always look ahead. I mean, the Cowboys are looking ahead. Trust me. If they're not looking at prospects, then they're not doing their job. And that's part of the reason why Will McClay's been so successful in being able to build this team. And that's why they're able to bring in guys like Deron Blanche, right? They're able to bring in those guys because they have an area scout watching those guys. There was somebody out watching, Fresno State, like, hey, this Bland kid can go. He has all the measurables. He can move. Hips are fluid. You put him on the Cowboys, and he's playing against the best in the world. So I don't think that there's ever anything wrong with that part of it. That's just me. But like I said, just
I, li-
an early peak.
yeah, I like what he's saying about they get another tight end. Like what you see right now, Laporta looks badass, right? He looks pretty good.
He does.
Kincaid looks pretty good. I'm hoping Schoonmaker, gets in that level right now because
I'm gonna tell you this: the way they're using him, it's clear that they love him as a blocker, and they're not wrong.
oh
Like,
yeah for
and
sure. Yeah.
he's been a great blocker too. Just so we're clear about that, Luke Schoonmaker's a really good blocker, y'all. And I mean, I know people don't want. Oh, I don't want to block and tight end. I want the next, Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey, whatever. But Schoonmaker holds his own, and as he gets better, he's gonna turn into something. Just let it happen. So Joe, closing thoughts. Do you got anything before we peel out?
Yeah, man. We just got to go on this run here. These next couple of games, we're gonna be at home that Thanksgiving game, and then take that momentum into that gauntlet, that final quarter of the season where we're either gonna show up or we're gonna do what we do. You know.
Yeah, Joe, I feel the same way, and I think the Cowboys will be fine, man. I think that it starts with this week. I don't think the players are overlooking this game at all. I think that they know that they got to go out and handle business early, let some guys get some reps, and I think that they come back against Carolina and do the same thing. I mean, Carolina, unfortunately, they just don't have enough. Then Washington will be like a mini test because they do have a good offense, good receivers. But again, the O line and the defense I don't know if it's enough to stop what we do. And they got rid of both their DNs. So it's gonna be slow trying to stop us. And then we get ready for Philly. Then Seattle on that Thursday night, then Philly. So it'll be interesting. Joe, this show, can everybody see my screen? This show was brought to you guys by the Real Insurance Lady. Guys, if you need health insurance, health care, the whole nine, they can do it for you all in less than 7 minutes. That's pretty cool. They can do it for you all in less than 7 minutes. You guys make sure that you tap in with the Real Insurance Lady. If you guys are catching this on a rewind, all the information will be in the link description. So check in with one of our dynamic sponsors, the Real Insurance Lady. I'll have a link in the description box. And they'll handle all your insurance needs. Joe, you guys can find Joe at cowboysblog.net. You guys know you can find me at Foot's the King on Twitter, on IG. Make sure you guys follow us, man. We do a lot of work. And we'll probably be on Twitter arguing with fans from other teams. And I don't run from that stuff. I love that stuff. As long as people don't get disrespectful, you guys know that I'll argue and talk ball with anybody, man. I'm humble. So, Joe, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Friday. This was great work, man. What a good show.
Thank you.
Can we get a clap emoji for having Joe on the show? Thank you, April. April showers.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Real quick. Like I said, for my team, we're going to nationals. I want to put up something more formal, but if you guys want to support, Cash App is just Foot's the King. We leave first week of December. If anybody wants to support for nationals, man, we'll actually be on New York Avenue in DC on Sunday, out there bucket begging, hustling. So, Joe, thank you so much for joining. We need the Cowboys to win, and I think that we will.
Let's go, Dallas.
Peace. Bye, y'all.